So what we've got so far is fairly reasonably well roughed out. I knocked down all the high spots with the rasp, or all the high spots right in the middle, this ridge that I created down the middle with the hatchet. I mean, obviously I got a lot of work to do. My handle's kind of roughed in, fades are kind of roughed in. There's a lot of wood to remove still. Just feeling it. Obviously I'm going to have to address the contours that come from the back of this and the lumps. Same thing on this side. I was able to get everything evened up to my thin spot, so that's no longer the weak point. All right, we've reduced everything to match that, and I got a lot to take down. Just a lot of wood to remove, and this side is a little bit wide still, so I need to take a couple of rasps down each this piece and this piece here, each side of this limb, and see how that handles. This is a little worrisome to me. I've uncovered kind of a deep knot right here in the fade, so maybe this fade won't work as much as this one, but we shall see. Alright folks, here we are with our stave thus far. I've been just using the rasp, kind of get the thickness taper felt out, and I did put her down and give her a bend, and I heard a very loud crack. And as you can see, there's still the dry bark on the back of this vine maple, and what had cracked was this section of bark that came off, and that's awesome. Makes my life a little bit easier. Underneath here it's just like this beautiful, like ripply, sinewy, perfect growth ring of wood right here, and this is gonna look awesome when it's done. So I've got it, thickness taper kind of roughly. I've got a ton of wood left to remove. There's only, it's only just barely beginning to flex. So decent progress for day one, and I'm going to keep going, but I am going to redraw my center line on here just so that I've got an idea, and as the rest of the bark comes off, I will fill in with a pencil right across the top here where that mark goes. Check back with you in a minute. A little bit of progress. It is not bending very much. This vine maple is really stiff. I've got a lot of work to do just before I'm even a floor tiller, but you can kind of see where I'm at now. I'm really hopeful. This is a great piece here. There's a couple little knots. That one I probably got to super glue a little bit. Same with that one and that one. But I think overall this is going to be a solid bow. I mean, it's a little too early to tell, but I've got high hopes. So yeah, 66 inches. I'm going to tiller this out to about 55 pounds at 28, and hopefully it stays this pretty. I may have to do a little bit of heat bending in this handle region because I don't believe these tips are going to line up perfectly, but that should be pretty easy. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so what I just did was took down the thickness till everything's relatively even. I'm not concerned about this much of the tip right now because I'm going to really thin this out, and I want it to be a little bit thicker anyway. So about, this much of it. I don't fully thickness taper. Trying to knock down all of the thick spots and leave a little bit of extra around the knots. But even at this point, with this much weight left to take off, that's not such a huge issue. And then what I do is I go over with a little bit finer side of the rasp and just clean it up a little bit so that I can get a look at the grain and kind of follow the line down the middle of this stave to see how the grain lines disperse.